Good afternoon, everybody. I hope we are all well. I am just doing my checks, make sure I am live in the right place. But as normal, there is a lag. But there we go. Right. Oh, how are we all? Happy New Year to those of you that I haven't spoken to. Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be back. Oh, my sleeves are coming undone. So we've got lots going on, lots happening. But do you know what? I've told you all about it. It's all there on the website. Bonus days are here. Don't forget that. So you can earn bonus coupons. But I think I just want to get straight on and get crafting. So I am just going to switch my camera around to there. I am going to get rid of this. Get rid of that, close things down. That's better. Yeah, there we go. All sorted. Right, so we're still using Love Notes 6x6 design series paper. This is part of the mix and match. It's a fabulous little pack. And if you've been following me on social media, you'll see that I have created quite a few different cards with this so far already. Trying to use just the papers and just some cardstock and some embellishments. Well, now I'm actually bringing in other products. And because I've got it and we've got to use it, Woolly Friends finally made its way to me. It was the first thing I wanted on my pre-order, but it wasn't available when I did my pre-order. So then I waited until I could get some coupons. So we're going to use those. That's what we're using today. And then taking inspiration from Global Design Project for this week with the card layout. So I'm going to have a go at recreating that. DL card's not a card I do often, though I love them. So that's what we're going to do. So I want a layer of, this keeps coming undone, but I need to put a stitch in the buttonhole. Stretched. Right, I think I'm going to go with basic white. I'm just having a think, because if I'm using coloured paper, and then my sheep, I could do coloured sheep. Nothing wrong with using coloured sheep. So yes, I'm going to use basic white for my layer. And for my card base. So I'm going to do my card base first so that I know that I've got the dimensions correct for my layer. Oops. So basic white, thick, and I'm going to put that at 21. So we've got a square. I don't know if these are the exact measurements of a DL card. This is how I do them to fit the DL envelopes that I've brought. So I've got 21 square, and we're going to score that in half at 10.5, and that will give us a nice card base. That I have my envelope here, and that will just fit nicely in there with a little bit of room all the way around. And then I'll cut my layer, which is what I'm going to work on. I'm going to do that at 10. So we've got half a centimetres different for a little border all the way around. And I will cut it down to 20.5. That side. I've got a cat staring at me through the window, wanting to come in. And she'll have to wait. Hayden's going to go to the back door and let her in. Hayden's sitting in here today. Right, so that'll just fit nicely on there with a nice little border. Right, so let's find some bits of paper that we can use. And I'm not thinking Valentine's in particular, I'm just thinking for a nice card. Might be a nice piece to use. And then we need a square here, which I'm just sorting through what I've already got cut. And could go blue. Quite like the blue actually. That'll give us a few colours to work with. Yeah. I'm going to use that. So I just need to cut these down a bit. So this piece, that is just a piece I've already got, at the moment is 6.5. So I'm going to cut it to 7. Because I think I might need to cut it the other way as well to make it a bit more of an oblong. Yeah, I like the difference there. So we'll go 5. We've got that cut to 5 by 7. I like that. The length of this is a little long for what I want. We'll be trimming that, but I want it thinner as well. So I'm going to cut 1.5 centimetre strip. Yep, liking that. And I'll chop that off to, thinking 14. Give that a go. And this is just using up scraps that I've already got. So we like to make the most of what we've got, use them up. Right, so that's our background. That's a little plain, I'm thinking. I want something on it now. Could do some shading with some blending brushes, or we could stamp. But I'm thinking, I wonder if I've got an embossing folder that I could use. Now, I know we haven't got embossing folders that are particularly that long. Oh, actually, one of the new ones is. So I'm going to do that just to give it a little bit of interest, because I do think it's a little bit plain. And this is the Birchwood 3D embossing folder. And I always forget about embossing folders. They're not something I use very often, and that's wrong, because they're fabulous when I do use them. I really like them. So for a 3D embossing folder, we just need our bottom plate. We place our embossing folder in with the fold in first, so that we don't get no ruckles in it, and then it doesn't break our folder. And then we get plate number 4 on top. We simply run that through, and that goes through so easily. I do really love my large machine. Oh, that and my mini machine. I think they're both fantastic. Right. I'm making a conscious, thanks, Hayden, conscious decision this year to try and use more of my stuff. Because I always forget about embossing folders. And yet they're fabulous. I mean, that just, you possibly can't see too well on screen, but that just makes all the difference to that. Hello, how are you? Thanks for joining. But yeah, when you've got a plain background and it just seems a little bit too plain, using an embossing folder, it's great for that. Right, so now we're going to do our sheep. And anyone that knows me knows I love sheep. I collect sheep. I have sheep all over my house. And yeah, so this was just got to have. Right, so let me bring in my foam mat. And you will see us using this a lot more now, being as we are only going forward doing the photopolymer stamp sets. I need a piece of basic white. Use this. And then I'm going to stamp some of her sheep. And we've got 3 different sheep stamps for the actual body. We've got one with them running and one standing. I know I definitely want one running. And then I will go with one standing. I think I'll do 2 standing. And then we've got our head, which we need. And then we've got an infill so that we can do our sheep coloured. And we'll need that as well. Right, let's do those first. And grab some blocks. We need a few, because I know for definite I haven't got enough of the C block, which is the best one for these. If you remember correctly, someone you know used to have a sheep model about 3 foot tall in the kitchen. Oh, wow. I haven't got anything that big. Gosh, I'd like one though. I always remember that once Dell came home, he'd been somewhere, and on his way back, he passed like an independent gift shop type thing in a little village, and there was a sheep stood outside, and that was probably about 3 foot long and then 2 foot tall, solid ceramic, well, concrete, I think it was used for the garden stone. And he told me about it. I was like, oh, fab. So he went back, and I think it was something like £300. I was like, maybe not. But yeah, I have got one little lamb, concrete lamb, in my garden with a broken ear. Its ear got broke off, unfortunately, got knocked over. But yeah, I do love my sheep. Right, I'm going to stamp these in Memento. I must say, I haven't done a lot of stamping as late because I've been using the papers. We can stamp that one, and then this. That's running. Then we're going to have 2 standing. Now I know what I should have done is create a template. Hello, Louise. Thanks for joining. Create a template for my stamping. And the way we can do that is just grab a piece of cardstock and punch out all the bits. Now we can use those to stamp on and use. Watching while you work, that's the best way to do it. Because I've stamped these like this, I'm going to have to cut them up to get them into the punch. Whereas with doing a template like this, I'll be able to pop that down. So if I'd got that here, I can pop that down. I can line up all my stamps. Saying there you're working too. Well, why not? So if I line up my stamps in here, it's the body and a head. Stick it. Hayden's getting soaked by a dog, a cat. Then what have we got? What do they cut out? That one looks like a bow. And I'm not sure what. Oh, it's the bell. Okay, so we'll pop the bell in there. And we've got the bow as well. Right. So now I've got those lined up to the punch. Then I can grab a block and pick those all up together. Turn that over. And I know now that if I pop that down on here, let me get it the right way, that way, that way. So it lines up with the punch. Yeah, and I've got them backwards now, haven't I? Oh, for live crafting. This is what happens when you don't really think about what you're going to do first. But it's okay. Because I'll make the mistake so you don't have to.
At least Lucky's not coming to sit on me.
No, Lucky hasn't come to sit on me or on the desk today.
She's literally left, like, water dripping down my leg.
Oh, she's that wet, is she? Oh dear. Right. Now we can do this properly. So we'll ink that up. And even though I don't want all of the pieces that are in this, I can save them and use them another time. Oh, do excuse me if you see the top of my head. Was going to say you're showing what not to do. Yeah, exactly. But it happens to us all. We've all been there. There we go. We can stamp this now, knowing that they will punch out exactly how we want them. I'll do 3 so that I've got the bits I want for the head. There we go. Excellent. And then I've got my running one down here on the other side. So that's fine. All right. Now I can punch these out. I can't remember actually the last time I had a punch like this to use this way. It's I don't know. I haven't brought any sets that have had a punch like this for a long time. Everything I've been purchasing has been dies. All right, so we've got that, and I'm going to fussy cut this one. Snips. Just cut it out so it's easier for me. All right. Let's cut this. I'm not trying to perfectly cut round it. I'm just sort of going with the in and out of the sheep. I think because it's white and white, it's very forgiving. Well, I'm just moving it to imitate that edge. There we go. Yours was the mushroom, but it was easier to fuzzy cut. Yeah. See, I didn't even have that. Look. Oh, the last one was the bee. I've got the bee. So it's been around a while, hasn't it, the bee? Right. So we've got our card here, and then we'll have our 3 sheep, and I will colour or add colour to 2 of them. Okay, I'm going to prefer that to be underneath my sheep. He's running. The rest I stood watching him run. Right, I'm happy with that. Let's add colour to 2 of these. I've got my infill stamp. I'll leave him white. And these 2 can be coloured. Right, I'm thinking that's Azure Afternoon. So we can do one Azure Afternoon, and then we've got Gorgeous Grape and Flirty Flamingo. So I'm thinking Gorgeous Grape and Flirty Flamingo and doing them very pale. Hi Cheryl, how are you? Hope you're well. I'm finally playing with my sheep. I'm with my sheep, getting myself in a mess, as you do. Right, let's bring Flirty Flamingo first. And because it's a solid stamp and it's the first time I've used it, I'm just going to do a bit of a prime to it, and I just rub it with my skin, and I find that helps. I'm not saying it's a perfect way to do it, but it does tend to help get a better stamp. Now I'm going to see how pale I want it. I think just stamped off. Oh, no, we'll go for the once. So a 2nd generation, and I think that'll be okay. Let's get this lined up something like, I'm going totally the wrong way. And I'm not fussed about it taking me time to do it and it going even paler because it's drying, because that's fine. There we go. How gorgeous is that? Flirty Flamingo. Bet you don't get in a mess as much as I might. I don't know what's wrong today. I have literally got stuff everywhere already. And I don't know why. Right, let's do the same with this one and see. No, I haven't inked up that very well, have I? But, you know, I'm not fussed if it doesn't have a complete cover. That's better. Right. I'll go 2nd generation with that as well. I apologise again if my head gets in shot. Just going to line that up. There we go. Beautiful. Love that. Right, so sheep from here. We need to put heads on our sheep. Like so. And I'm sure I have somewhere some wibbly wobblies things. Haha, I do. So we can make their heads wobble. I have had these a long time. I did a class with somebody, I can't remember who it was, and we used these, and I keep forgetting about them again, like I say, with my embossing folders. So I'm trying to think if I want to put a wobble head on them all or just on the one. So let's bring this down and see. Right. I'll have it something like that, and then him running like that. I think they all need to have a wobbly head. Yeah, I will put the heads on once I've stuck them down, because of sticking them onto the card. They'll overlap the body. Come on. Some people say it's so much easier when you've got nails. I'm not 100% agreeable with that. I think you need a little bit of a nail, but they are the same. It looked wider one way than the other. Now these are slightly bigger, but you don't notice once it's on the card. You could have the running one along the purple paper. Yes, we could. That would be a good idea. There's no reason why I can't go with that. We shall see where we go. Right, let me stick these on. My glue is stuck in my glue pot. Has anybody else got a glue pot that's full of glue? I've had this glue pot quite a while, and I always stand my glue in it upside down so it runs down. But it's like got a mound of glue in there. So now the glue gets stuck. But I was forever having to shake the glue because it had all gone down to the bottom. And now I don't have to. I love this paper. I am so glad that I chose now to make my product spotlight for a month. I was going to say a year then. Like, who's doing a product spotlight for a year? A month. Because I'm finding so many ways using this paper. Yes, Hayden. Oh, okay. Thought you wanted some of the way you were standing. Okay, no problem. Right, so let's stick these on. They've got 3D heads, yes. You store it with the lid. Yeah, if I'm not using it, I store it with the lid. But while I'm using it, I stick it into that glue so that not so much comes out. And it keeps it. Right, so if we had two and then him running along, we could have like that. Or if we go with the card sketch, that is here, I'll have the three. Or I could put it so it's still running. I think it looks better that way. I'm going to go with the three here to follow the sketch. But there's no reason why we can't do another one with it going off. That's something else that I like. I like to make a card, and then because you think of other ways and ideas whilst you're making the card, do another that's very similar. but with that slight change that you've thought of. Right, so I'll have this on dimensionals. So this is a card that you're going to give by hand, I think, unless you really like the person, because with having the wobble heads on and adding the extra of the dimensional, it's going to be thick, and I don't believe it would go as a standard letter. Right, so let's pop our heads on. I am just going to keep my heads white. I think they're nice white. Come on. My gosh. These do not want to go. It's probably because I've had them so long. There we go. We'll bend it. That'll help. Like that. You keep your glue upright in a cup or one of the little those little yeah, these were yogurt pots. I think it was Aldi years ago did yogurts in them, and they were great, and I got quite a few. And I must say they've come in quite useful. Unless you really like, well, yeah, unless you really, really, really like them, then you can send it to them. Do we have him running that way, running that way? I think we're going to have him running that way. There we go. Look. Oh, they are so cute. I'm going to have lots of sheep in lots of colours. I think I might recreate this card with lots of different colours. Right, so our card base. We can stick our layer onto there. And I love it when you find a layout that you like, that's easy to recreate. Because, I mean, how simple is this to recreate? And you can do it, I don't know what that is, in lots of different colours. Now, we have got some bows, which we can pop on our sheep. And I've got bells, which I think a bell would look nice. Or a bow. So we'll have a bit of a play with those. Bells, I'm just thinking a yellowy gold, or I could do them grey actually for a silver bell. Let's do that. So let's grab smoky slate blends, and we'll just put a little bit of dark around the top. Wrong end. And then just do, that's very dark. Well, it is smoky slate. So because that is so dark, I'm going to grab my colour lifter. That has just done a massive blob, because I haven't used it in I don't know how long. It has literally just blobbed onto it and saturated it and spread it everywhere. So I'll leave that, and I'll leave the lid off that a moment while I do another one. So I'm not going to worry about the dark. Just going to go in with the light at the top, and then let's dab that on some paper, make sure it's got all that excess out, and then I shall just see if I can blend that out. like so. Just put a little bit more colour up there. Just blend that. And then our little dingaling, don't know what they're called, little clacker, whatever they are. There we go. So let's just give a little bit of colour to that. And we will give them, that's blobbed again. We'll give them opposite colours on the, I could do an azure afternoon actually. We'll bring in light azure afternoon to go on the actual collar. There we go. That just brings that into it, and that can go on our white one, I think. Might look better on pink one or purple. I'm just going to put it on a little dimensional so that it lifts it up slightly. We'll put it on our purple guy. So it just shows under there like that. Right, and the others can have bows, I think. Right, let's do a flirty flamingo bow. No. See, these have sat for so long. So certain colours you don't use very often, isn't there? Flirty flamingo is one of those colours for me. It's not a colour I use a lot. I tend to find it's a little bit bright. So that's the light. I'm not going to use the dark. I'll go again with my colour lifter. And then back in. Just to bring that down slightly. There we go. And because we've already put the colour lifter on, it makes it really pale at the ends. And that's fine. And then for our last one, the last one doesn't have to have anything, to be honest. I'll just put a bow on this one. Where are my mini dimensionals? They're over here. I've got them the wrong side of me. There we go. Can have just a little bow there. Beautiful. Love that. Right. Sentiment. We can find our stamp sets. And we've got in here, welcome cutie, you make me happy, sending flowers and sunshine, you're simply fabulous. And I think I want to make this a welcome card. Do I? Welcome cutie? No. You're simply fabulous. Let's go. It is cute, isn't it? You're simply fabulous. Now, I will be able to fit that on there, but will it be on a bag? Now I have got the banner signs with the punch, and I've already got some punched out, so I'm just going to see if it's wide enough. It is, and that would go on here nice. But I'm wondering if we should have a colour and then white emboss it so it stands out. I just think that, yeah, it covers a little too much. If the strip had been a little bit wider, but that's okay. So we can have it on a colour with it embossed. So let's grab a colour. Let's try gorgeous. No, I think Flirty Flamingos. Not right. Let's grab Azure Afternoon. Or Gorgeous Grape. Let's grab a piece of that. Just in my scrap box. Grabbing little pieces that I've got. No. Let's try the Azure Afternoon and we'll see. Might not be right for what we want. But we can try it. I'll use our embossing buddy to get rid of any static. Grab our stamp and our Versamark ink. And we can stamp with this. And this is just a sticky glue that allows us to add our embossing powder. Pop my lid on there. Shake, give that a tap. That looks okay. Now I have got more than one white embossing powder. There's a mixture actually in the one I'm using. But then I have got a new one. Because sometimes this doesn't do the best. But that's okay. I like how that's turned out. It's not a perfect solid, which you can't really tell on there maybe. But that's okay because the way this is done, it's not a solid colour, so it doesn't need to be that super bold. Right, punch. We've got this punch is fabulous. I love this. Especially for little sentiments. It makes it so easy. So I need a post-it note. Hold, everything's falling off. Just to stick on here so that I can hold it and fit it in. Hayden's cooked and it smells absolutely gorgeous. I have no idea what he's cooked. But yeah, it smells good. And I haven't had my breakfast yet. That's how my morning's gone. I ended up getting up a little bit too late. Right, so we've got our sentiment. So we could pop our sentiment on here, which it doesn't look too bad, but I just think it's a little bit wide. I could chop it down, but I don't want to. Or we could add it over the top. Don't mind that like that. Not up there. I quite like it there actually. I'm going to add it there on dimensionals. I'll just put a couple of dimensionals on there. And the dimensionals just fit on here nicely. Breakfast. You've had breakfast and lunch and ready for an afternoon cuppa. I've had plenty of cuppas. I think this is my 4th cuppa. So yeah, but I'll drink it before it goes cold. I gotta say, I am terrible for not eating. I know that seems hard to believe. But yeah, if I'm doing, I forget to eat and then I eat the wrong stuff. Right, so I think we just want some embellishments on here. And I think we're done for this one. Let's have a look what we've got in my box of embellishments. Butterflies, no. I do have the ladybirds on, right? But I've got clear. Those would be quite sweet with the gold. Or we've got Flirty Flamingo. I could use those because I've got quite a few of those. Yeah, I think they're possibly going to be the best. Got Flirty Flamingo and Azure Afternoon in these. These are the rainbow adhesive back dots, and I think that is Highland Heather, but because of the way it all is, we could use a mix if we wanted to. It'd still go. I actually think these are Calypso Coral, but that isn't far away at all. Let's have, I'm not sure. There's a big one there. And a little azure. And then we can go a little one of these down here. There we go. I love that. I'm glad I remembered those wibbly wobblies. I have no idea what they're called. I can't remember. I need to remember because I need to be able to get some more. But yeah. Right, inside. We like to do our insides as well. That's thick piece. Another piece, basic wise. I always put an inner in my cards. Whether it's a white card, light card, black card. I don't know. And then I know this is 21 and I want it 20, so I'll just chop a centimetre off. And as we've already said, this card's for someone special. So, you know. We'll stamp on the inside with our sheep, which is here. I'll take that off there now because I just want a single sheep. A memento. You're not ready for a drink, but it's a long time since you had lunch. It's still lunchtime. I always count lunchtime 12 till 2 for me. So yeah, I still think of it as lunchtime. Now I am going to use a separate head because of it going over, you'll see. So I'm going to be brave, she says, and I'm going to try and stamp on an already punched out piece. Now, for the amount of stuff that's gone wrong, it wouldn't surprise me if this goes wrong as well, but we'll see. No, it's good, it's good. Do I colour? No, I'm going to leave him plain. I'm just going to glue his head on flat. There you go. He's a very smug sheep that's run away. Ran to the inside and lost his bow. Definitely not breakfast. It is. I shall probably have breakfast. I shall probably have Weetabix. Or I might have some toast. Because I've got my hair appointment after to go and get that done. Right, there we go. And there is our card. I really love that. I have definitely got to make more. Yeah, and I definitely need to make more DL cards. Because, yeah, some things they just suit, don't they? Right. Oh, we're only going to get one done today. I thought that was a quick and simple card. But it's taken me longer than I thought it would. Thank you. It is cute, isn't it? I can see lots of people getting sheep from me this coming year. Thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I've got a bit of glue there, actually. Just get rid of that. There we go. One of the best things ever, glue rubber. Right, yeah, really happy. Right, well, thank you very much for joining. It's been lovely having you to talk to. I will be back this evening at 7:30, where I will be using the Love Notes papers and probably the sheep as well. Thanks, Louise, to make a scrapbook page. So if you're around later, do pop on, or you can catch up over on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel where all my lives get uploaded to after, so they're always there for everyone to see. And if you do hop over there, please give me a like. I'm trying to grow that a little bit more. So yeah, right, thank you again, and I shall see you all, if not later, maybe next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.